Hello, so this video is for the first half of the Lakota Women book, and my question is, what is revealed in Lakota Women about challenges Native Americans faced in the 20th century? The book reveals a lot about the mistreatment of Native Americans and what they were forced to deal with all throughout the 20th century. Mary Crow Dog, she spoke about unfair prison sentences, poverty in the reservations that led to death because of the corrupt government officials who took all of the money from the reservations. But several things that really stood out to me was first the Catholic schools, which we talked about earlier in the semester, but she went through it for like most of her life, most of her childhood. And in case you forgot or something, they were forced to go to these schools where they were basically made to whitewash the children, which was especially messed up because all of the children were forced to live on campus, which meant they were away from their family and their community, and so they were forced to be away from their original heritage and the way that they were raised before. And it was also shunned, they couldn't practice their native culture because they tended to be punished or even beaten by the nuns and the pastors, the nuns and whoever else. And that was really messed up, but thankfully Mary Crow Dog was able to get out in time, and she was able to go back and go back to her original heritage, and she wasn't too horribly messed up. Okay, she wasn't messed up from the school, but she was thankfully able to go back to her roots. Another thing, the thing that I thought was the most messed up way in the book of how they were treated was the forced sterilization, which happened to her sister. That was really terrifying to hear that that was even a thing in history, that doctors would do that to the women when they were unconscious and without their permission at all. And these doctors were never reprimanded. They never went to prison or anything, and that was just really horrifying to hear that someone else would make that decision for them. And it was really just so that they were hoping to wipe out the Native Americans, and that was just honestly horrible to hear. And then another thing that was really upsetting to hear about was how they were displayed in the media, especially during AIM, the movement she was in. Just right off the bat, they were considered terrorists, which was just honestly it baffled me that all they wanted to do was talk about treaties, and they began so peaceful, and they were still really good and level-headed about how they dealt with everything. But right off the bat, the news just said some really outrageous things, made them look like terrorists. They wanted to blow up what is that mountain with all the presidents' heads, which literally was not true at all. And then it felt like it was just a story or something, how with the wounded knee, or that hill when they were the siege, when they were there, the whole FBI and the marshals were called in, and it sounded like a war zone, when once again all they wanted to do was they wanted the justice and the promises that the government told them that they would have, that they broke so many times. And so that was just really hard to hear, that the people believed everything that the news told them, and how the Native Americans were depicted. It was really sad. And the other thing was just, I was realizing in history class, we always learn about the African American civil rights and maybe sometimes Mexican American civil rights, but it's like American history is purposely leaving out the Native American civil rights, and how pretty much all the issues that they were facing back then, like several decades ago, those are also problems that they're still facing today. And it's just really sad that America, they're really trying to like stifle everything that happened. So that was my question and answer of just a few of the problems the Native Americans were facing in the 20th century that Mary Crow talked about in the first half of her book. Thank you. Bye.